We're doing live. Hello, everybody. This is my friend Karen, all the way from Iowa. All right, keep over here to the hub. Say hi to us. Oh man,
Good things going on.
yeah. All right, you guys. Hello, everybody. We are at the hub. No, come on. We are at the hub today. The hub is open, and we are here Friday afternoon. Still a bunch of people will still check it out here. So, hello everybody. We have quite a few people today, but we heard about the different developments in our. And sorry guys, haven't been on the live train for a while. Been busy with a lot of stuff around our community, and also doing stuff around in Honolulu, and trying to get people here to for our environment and the people of Pahoa. So we got Philip over here, but the first one that we want to talk about is a lot of the evacuation areas being lifted today by Civil Defense and our county. So Leilani subdivision barricades will be down, so a lot of people can go home, which is a good thing. Everybody wanted to go home. The good thing about that is because the last couple weeks they were having a lot of looting in Leilani estates, and the sad thing was, the looting was happening on Malama Street, and people were coming in from Opihikau area, walking up the mountain. Apparently there's a road in the back of that area, and people were coming up from Opihikau area and entering the Malama side of Leilani subdivision. That's one of the things that we were doing, and apparently we got some information of who was doing it, and we'll be, this person was going around Pahoa town and bragging about it, but there's a lot of people that have got their stuff stolen, and we'll be contacting some authorities on that. So it's a good thing that people can go back home and Malama and take care of their stuff in Leilani. I know everybody loved my hat. Howdy, cowboy. Love this hat. Got it from New Mexico. So, for Leilani, it is awesome. People can go back home. That's what everybody wanted. But some people are kind of optimistic of going back home because it's so close to the fissure. Some people are just, literally feet away from the fissure, and this fissure has been active and inactive, active and sometimes inactive. So it's like going back and forth. The fissures, as of this morning, we'll be showing some photos of the fissure. I'll be doing more of what's happening in our community often, just to have everybody a sense of certainty for people in our community. So we'll be sharing some pictures and videos of Fissure 8 every day. But there is a lot of uncertainty because nobody knows what's going to happen with Fissure 8. Fissure 8 could be very active. It could come back up. Lava is right at the verge of the mouth of Fissure 8. It's rising and falling, rising and falling. So it's doing pretty much almost the same thing what Pu'u'o was pretty much doing in its existence. It's filling up with lava, falling away with lava, filling up with lava, falling away with lava. So there, the uncertainty is still there, but as far as getting people back home in Leilani, that's an awesome thing. My thoughts on Poho'iki, though, I talked to some of the residents there, and they're very, very optimistic on what's happening because there's tons of people walking into Poho'iki. For my thoughts on that, if you don't have no kuleana in Poho'iki or no business in Poho'iki, don't go into Poho'iki because a lot of people are trying to get back home and still, you know, there's a small percentage of these people, you know, they call that mahaoi or niele, want to go look at people's properties and walk through people's properties. And there is some you know, trail cams out there that people are doing that already. So, you know, that for me, you know, if you're gonna go into Pahoa, have you know, take a resident, or also just have permission from some residents, and you know, just out of respect for the people of Pahoa area. And they're very you know, concerned about it, because you know, when the lava was going on, there was a few people that went in and still didn't have the respect for these people, and a lot of stuff was being violated, like people walking onto their property. And it's not only, you know, just you know, people of the community or just normal people, but it was also local agencies going into other people's properties without any permission. So you know, as far as I know, there's going to be a lot of people going into Pahoa in the next couple of days. So that's my concern. If you have business being in there and want to help with people, then that's the way to do it. But you know, another thing too, if you're going to be walking on that place, be very careful and take closed-toe shoes, a lot of water, because I know it's a short walk. It's a short walk to Pahoa. It's only like, I would say, a little less than half a mile, but it'll take you about 3 hours to get there. So, because it's very sharp and rocks. But you know, for Pahoa area, be very respectful. If you're gonna go in there, if you know people that are gonna go in there, please tell them, be very respectful for the people in there. Also, you know, I'm not too sure about the why. You know, the why also, and you know, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to go try to walk all over the lava and try to see what's happening and what's going on. So, you know, always be careful on whatever you guys do, because the lava is still very much hot and very much active, should I say. And if you fall down, you know, that's, you know, falling down on is pretty bad. So so that's my thoughts on the Pahoa area. If you guys like going out there, have respect. Have respect for the people of Pahoa and you know, the people that still have homes in there, and try to, you know, but here we're trying to see if we can bulldoze a road for these people to get back home. So that's my thoughts on Pahoa. Also, a new development of just was part of a meeting in Pahoa with Pahoa Main Street Pahoa, and it was a pretty cool meeting. It was wanting to start a visitor center or some sort of exhibit where they can sort of our how you can say it, our eruption that happened in 2018 in May. So they're going to start to do that. I have some mixed feelings with that. You know, it's just me, but you know, kind of, and me, myself, Phil, Andrew, and John. You know, as far as what's happening in Pahoa and the faith of Pahoa. But here, let me bring Philip aboard. Philip. So here comes Philip. This is my friend. She's just sitting in on it. Iowa. Come on over. Are we live? Yes, we are. So I talked about the, you know, the changes and what's happening with Lower Puna, and talked about Leilani. And the good thing about what's happening with Leilani and the possibility of getting people back home, because there's a lot of people that are still away and haven't gotten to their homes, and a lot of looting has been happening in the last couple weeks from the same. You know, there's an and I've been saying that we pretty much know who it is, and we're trying to see if we can contact this person, right? Because he's bragging around town. But yeah, so what is your thoughts about Leilani Estates getting open?
Well, I think there's been a lot of people who have been waiting for a long time for access to their house, and I think, you know, for those people in particular, it cannot be nothing but a good thing. Right. I think if people have a chance to maybe self-patrol the neighborhood, get in there, keep an eye on their stuff, like that's kind of what I have heard. Yeah, I've heard some people say that there's always been some kind of criminal element around, and they just don't have a chance to protect themselves if they can't be there, right, to do that. So at least that way of looking at it. It's got to be a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to get people back home and have that sense of security for their own belongings, and I'm for that. As far as Pohoiki, Mackenzie, what is your thoughts? They heard my thoughts.
So, I mean, that's the other thing, yeah. So, I mean, the best thing about that is people have been looking for any way to look at lava from this year legally, and like as of tomorrow, there's going to be a chance to do that. Even if you just park at Mackenzie and look at the road, there is a 2018 lava right there. So there's a chance to go and see at least one part of it. That part's been inactive for, what, 4 months now, huh? 4 or 5?
For 4 months. Yeah, almost a little over 4 months.
Yeah, getting between 4 and 5 months already. So it's way past time for that place to be open, and yeah, that's good. Yeah, and there's some ambiguity about walking to Pohoiki. It's not that easy a walk. It's real rough. There's not really a trail worn in yet. It probably will get worn in real quick starting tomorrow. Yeah. So it's not for everybody, but there's a way that people can actually walk and go on to see Pohoiki now. And you know,
I know that's a good topic, but you know, my concern was about that is respecting the people of Pohoiki, respecting the homeowners of Pohoiki, because I know for a fact that there's a lot of people going to go in there, and Hawaiians call that niele, or wanted to nosilani, or go around looking at other people's property, and that's what a lot of these homeowners are afraid of. Yeah, because there's going to be truckloads of people trying to get back in. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying truckloads, but we'll make it across. Right. But there's going to be a high percentage of people getting in there. Now, another thing too that I want to say this, and you can really spread the word. Okay, people are going in there already, and guess what? A lot of rubbish are being seen in there, left back from these people. Yeah. And we had some local people going in there this past week, and they've been taking out these people's rubbish. So if you can go in there, please take out your rubbish and take care of the place. Yeah. Make it look better than how it was before you went there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, the homeowners are going to be the top priority for sure. Like, you know, hope that they've had enough warning, you know, that there's going to be a way that they can access their property to be able to, like, same thing, kind of self-patrol, self-regulate down there. I think, you know, even having some more of the local surfer guys, whoever else is going to be down there, are going to help police stuff too, because same, you know, like stewards on the ocean, stewards of the land, like, you know, that kind of people. We need more of those kind of people in there for sure. Because yeah, this past week we have a couple homeowners that shared with me some issues that came up in Pohoiki, and some of those issues was about people walking through their property and getting pictures of these people, and it's people of our community, and I know these people too, so I'll be kind of talking to them. And it's not a, if you're going to Pohoiki, it's not a free land, free to roam. People own a lot of property, and you know, just out of respect. So if you want to go there, if you want to go have a good time at Pohoiki, please be respectful of the beach, and also take out your rubbish. If you're going to bring in some rubbish, take it out. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and by the way, the beach is real sharp still. Yeah, it hasn't had time to really wear down to be nice and soft. You're not going to lie down on the beach. Like, it's glassy. Yeah, so you know, it's about seeing it. You know, getting in the water, whatever. But like, you know, it's not quite ready yet for people to be down there. Yeah, as far as like, you know, sunbathing. And the second thing, if you guys want to go in there, take a lot of water, and also have another way of contacting, emergency, just in case if something happen in the water, if you get ocean, because there's a huge shore break now, you break your neck. I mean, you're kind of far away, and I know down there it's pretty scarce on cell phone coverage. So that's my kuleana about, that's my vision of what I see in Pohoiki. Anything
else?
For sure, yeah. So yeah, respect private property for sure. Otherwise you guys are gonna ruin it for everybody. It's gonna get shut off, or it's gonna be some consequence. So we gotta trust people to kind of self-police. Yeah, basically is kind of what's going on. Yeah, so I would as far as landowners go, I've basically been asking people like, well, what do you think? What do you think? And so far, like a couple people I've asked just here today, they're like, yeah, I think that's a good thing. People should go in there. So that's, I defer to their opinion absolutely as far as like what they think should be happening.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing that we want to talk about is Main Street Pahoa and the new developments in Pahoa. Your thoughts?
Well, so it all revolves around Pahoa, right? And one of the big problems is people have been wanting to come down here and see what's going on. There's been nothing to see. You can't go anywhere or see anything. So now, the idea was to bring a draw so people could come into Pahoa. That's where this whole idea of bringing stuff from the Jagger Museum kind of came up. And we're still working on plans to find the most appropriate way. There's a lot of talk about just a lot of stuff should stay in Volcano. I'm personally trying to make that possible. So we'll see how that actually happens. If it's possible or not, we'll see. But we're definitely everybody on that. And I agree. There's a lot of things that should stay in Volcano. But there are some things that might be appropriate down here as well. And I don't see why a couple of things down here couldn't help the community down here as well. We're really all one community on Kilauea. Even though we kind of split ourselves here and there, we don't have a road that goes through the park anymore from Kalapana to Volcano. But we were a lot more connected. Just because we're like now disconnected doesn't mean we need to stay like disconnected. We can actually have siblings, yeah, two sibling things. And Summit is going to have its own story going forward.
Right.
Collapse. There's going to be lava erupting there again sooner than later, you guys. I keep telling you. And what's happening down here is going to always be of interest because of the story and the people that happen here. And why not two places, right? Why not, instead of coming to Hilo for 1 day, come for 2 days instead? Spend twice the time, and support the people here that kind of way. So, there's been a lot of talk for that. Because of the expectation of people coming down through here, that we're going to try to get something up as soon as possible with, maybe some videos. Maybe I'm going to start off going over there and talking story to people over there when a hub's not open, for example. And John, I believe, is going to be involved as well. And long term, it'll be kind of more development of like a long display there, right? The idea is that locals should always be able to go for free. And I'm saying you can't hear. Locals should always be able to go for free, and then the tourists come through can help support the community up there as well. So we'll see how well we can do it, how quickly we can do it. That's one big concern we have, right? We don't want to do a crappy job. We want to dishonor anything that might be from the Jagger. Everything's going to be done properly. But that's kind of where we're coming from. And so hopefully within the next couple weeks, there'll be something people can stop by and see in there, help them understand. Even if it's just like, this is a way where you go down to Mackenzie, and this is kind of how you got to do, and this is what you should bring, and this is what you should expect. Like an orientation station at the very least, for people who want to come see what there is to see down in the Pahoa area. So
yeah. As far as my thoughts on that, I have totally different thoughts.
Yeah, share them.
I like to say mahalo to Mr. Mark Hinshaw to inviting myself and some of the hub people to the meeting today, and having some say in what's going on. But here's my thoughts. My thoughts of this new development here. It's pretty awesome. I'm kind of for it, but not. And the reason why being is because there's a lot of people that was affected by the lava, and they're it's hard because I've been around the disaster so much and see how these people went through it, and then to come to terms with something for people to benefit from it now. It's here, it's kind of mixed feelings, but as far as you know, our well-being of our community. And this is my thoughts on how this thing is going to work. Our community, our town has to change into a volcano eruption town. So every store, every bar, every restaurant, gotta be pretty much surrounded by what kind of volcano theme.
Yeah, they need to remake their identity. Yeah, volcano identity rather than like a what you call identity now.
Yeah, and you know, and for you know, our town, Pahoa, I've seen it. You know, my dad was part of the the era of sugarcane. Then it morphed into it was you know, Filipino descendants in our town, and was a papaya farming town, and so awesome. And then now it's back to more natural town, and then now it's time for us to. That's the only way this thing's gonna work. With everybody work together. All the stores, the whole community work together, and bringing forth a different era of our town. And our town has to transform into a volcano town. So if I go to a store, and that's the only way this thing's going to work, and I think if we can make it possible, and it would be a very, very educational town. As far as with Jagger Museum, this is my thoughts. I brought this up at the meeting. My thoughts was there's a lot of things that is coming from Jagger. Pretty much everything from Jagger, almost, that was from Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, coming to Puna and Pahoa. It's so awesome to see that. But we gotta, we gotta think that there is another town that has lost a lot, which is Volcano. Volcano lost a lot. So a lot of those, exhibits and memorabilia and what, you know, some of those things that was part of the majority of those things part of the museum should stay in Volcano to increase volcano towns, you know, tourism.
The draw.
And that's a draw for them. For us, we have our own draw. We have the volcano. We can grab whatever you want to use as in our exhibits here. We have enough to do it. We have enough footage from just us two here. Yeah. We have enough footage from me and Phil to make an awesome. And by the way, we have some awesome footage from some really good friends that we can make a really good display. But we don't want to take anything. That's my feeling. I don't want to take anything away from another town that has also.
Yeah. So I totally agree with that. You know, the only way that's worked out that is going this way is because Pahoa Main Street was able to work this out with the park before Volcano had anything similar in place.
Yeah.
And the way it's working out now is it's kind of been just all as a package deal kind of thing. But, you know, we'd like to explore the possibility of exactly what you say, keeping the things that are the identity of Volcano in Volcano.
Right.
And maybe, you know, a couple of things, like I was saying, might be appropriate.
Because we all, I know Pahoa is in Puna, Volcano is in Puna, so we all in Puna. So we all gotta love each other, right?
Yeah, for sure, yeah. And Volcano is you know, my closer community to where I live than here. I feel like I'm part of both. Volcano is closer to where I live, you know, so I do feel, you know, like absolutely, you know, that a lot of stuff should stay there, and it should be draws from over there, yeah.
So there's some big development, and you know, we're gonna turn it around to Mr. John Stallman.
Good afternoon.
So what's your
Manao.
Manao?
I can echo both sides of that story. I feel like a lot of Jagger Museum displays are relevant for the crater Halima'uma'u, relevant for the place at the top of the volcano. So some of those things, in the long run, they're more appropriate displayed in conjunction with the top of the volcano. We're down here in the Lower East Rift Zone, and there's a difference in those stories. So I see that difference a lot. And I think absolutely this is all about preparing for a new era in Lower Puna, and people have to kind of start to conceptualize what is the draw for visitors down here. And it's like you say, it's the volcano. Everyone needs to help create that sort of atmosphere to prepare for the visitation that we might be able to draw through here. and there is a whole lot of sensitivity with the community, and so many people just now beginning to be able to heal from the destruction. And so it's a very sensitive thing to think of tourists walking all over the lava flows that are over people's properties and houses, and just having that sensitivity, and also the respect for the lava lands, what's been created, what's been destroyed down here, because like we've often said to each other, that a big lesson here is like that we're all at the mercy of the volcano. All across Puna, Ka'u, most of this island is at the mercy of the volcano, and so if we rush too much to just make a profit off of this disaster, that's going to be the wrong energy for our community from the get-go. So my hope is that whatever develops from here on out, there's that ability of respect, keep it classy, and respect that this is actually a life-changing, traumatizing, historical event that everyone's been through. And so whatever sort of visitor interaction we can create for tourists coming here who are interested in learning about the eruption, I hope we can give the dignity to that human drama. Should be something that really needs to be represented, like how deeply this affected us. And yeah, so that's what I would like to see. It needs to be tastefully done, whatever we do, so it's not just a chintzy tourist trap, you know?
I think for me, you know, if that's what I always said, do it right the first time, because the second time it ain't gonna be. So you gotta, don't force it, don't rush it, and do it right the first time, and it's gonna be a really great thing for our community. And the one thing too, our community gotta be behind it in order for it to succeed.
Work together.
Yeah, we all gotta work together. Not only the vendors, but also the members of this community, locals alike or newcomers. We all gotta work together, and it will be a successful thing. We'll create a lot of jobs for Puna. You know, that's the main thing that we want to do. But
I think that the whole like Jagger label is just to kind of help people who are not familiar with the area find Pahoa is basically the big thing. Because Pahoa, like you guys are saying, this area and this experience has its own identity,
right,
which people don't really know yet because we haven't shared it in a full extent in this display that we're trying to set up. And once that's in place and set up, it's going to have this, you know, this whole Jagger association is going to just vanish, because we're not going to need that. It's going to be whatever it's called. It's going to be the own identity here at Pahoa, and an identity of the Jagger you guys are, you know, worried about. That's going to stay in volcano identity. Wherever those displays go up there, that identity is already set. But the Puna identity down here at Pahoa is not quite so clear for everybody who hasn't been around, doesn't know like what kind of things we're trying to plan or trying to do, whatever else. And we'll do the best job we can with all the help we can get, and that'll become clear. The identity is going to come out clear, and to us it's already obvious. It's the story of the people. It's the story of the people who have lived through this, whether they're a homeowner, whether they're from Leilani or from Puna or from Pahoa or Green Lake. Mountain area, wherever it happens to be, everyone's got whether they're a surfer or like a fisherman or there's all different kinds of people who have lived and have their own unique stories that kind of weave through this entire experience, and like that's what we would really long term like to be the identity and highlight. That's the unique thing about this area, how people have lived through this, like how it's affected people, communities. That's the unique thing that doesn't happen in Volcano Village. It's a national park. You're not going to lose 700 houses up there. Like that's just not the same thing. That's what's unique about this area down here. So I think long term, that's the identity. The story of the community is going to way outshine any of this identity that we're trying to start off maybe borrowing from the Jagger initially, just to kind of help the people understand this is a place they should come.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the Jagger Museum stuff, is just that the whole opportunity to have displays from Jagger Museum. It's not exactly about us here, it's that the Jagger Museum name helps draw the connection from Volcanoes National Park to our eruption here for visitors. It helps them understand that connection to the park they're looking for, which is Volcanoes National Park. So it's a real opportunity to have that here to help create that continuity with visitors. but we won't. That's not ultimately the focus of this eruption, but it is an opportunity for us.
Yeah, and along those lines, the national park is not running or managing any of this structure. It's all going to be community run, community managed, community organized, community designed. So that's a big difference right there, and that's part of the identity also.
Okay, so you guys got theirs on?
Enough.
And this is my Manao, and I'll be the devil's advocate.
Do it.
I know. I'm glad he's taking it. Taught him something.
You know, I know, like you said, Jagger Museum, Jagger, that name Jagger. It's a key thing in selling a product of like what we're gonna be selling. It's okay. It's like this. I think we have a really good product. We don't need. For me, I don't think we need Jagger. The name Jagger.
Yeah, we don't
because our eruption was global. I think this eruption was more global than Jagger itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I come off the plane and let's go to Jagger. Well, there's two different places of Jagger here. Well, because we're using the name to get people here, and also, but another thing too, this is a whole different monster of its own. You know, our eruption. I understand the Jagger name, and a lot of Hawaiians don't like Jagger.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No,
So it's like. Wait, you're using him twice?
No.
In
Even though the name is not set for what's going to happen, it's
yeah.
not going to be Jagger.
Yeah, I know,
That's
I know.
for sure.
I don't know, but we're using that name to bring people
exactly.
in for.
Yeah. But it's similar, like every park map you see shows the Thurston lava tube, even though it's really Dahuku.
Yeah.
It still says Thurston lava tube. That's a similar kind of thing.
But if we go
Thurston.
to Lisa's house and we don't have anybody, let's call this Thurston lava tube too. You know, for me, I would very. I'm devil's advocate in this one. I would very much be very against it because I wouldn't want somebody else to use my name for them to benefit from it. You see what I mean?
Absolutely.
I want you guys to go do your own thing because you guys have your own selling abilities to. I mean, this volcano is just what the eruption had just in this 4 months has destroyed more homes than ever recorded. So I mean, it's pretty much in modern time. This eruption has destroyed more homes, destroyed more families in the last 100 years. And it had that's a name for itself already. Yeah. So, you know, that's just my Manao. I'm just playing like the devil's advocate.
Yeah,
John, that's you.
I taught you. I'm sorry.
And we're glad because we want to hear all the sides of the story and let you guys decide what you think for yourselves, right? Not telling anyone what to think, how to be. You guys hear all different opinions, make your own opinion for sure. Yeah. But here, but there is definitely a faction of people in Pahoa who are looking for that hook.
Yeah.
Of a Jagger, and that's we're trying to honor all different
This is
parts
a
of
hook
the community.
this is a hook that I would be hooked on automatic. Puna eruption or Pahoa eruption 2018.
Yeah.
You have a date, you have the eruption and the area.
Yeah.
That's a hook right there.
Yeah.
I want to see that because I seen that all
would
over.
be a great name, but it's not up to me.
Yeah. Unless we can make our own.
Well,
With Gilbert.
if somebody asks us, we'll suggest.
So that's my Manao on that, and how's the lava doing?
So the lava is.
Did you see Luce's photos? There's still lava up there.
From this afternoon or
Yesterday. Yeah,
still lava.
Tiny bit. It seemed like it was mostly dark. The ones from yesterday morning, the ones I saw, that didn't see a whole lot of anything in there. We're basically still waiting to see any signs of renewed activity.
Yeah.
That's really convincing. The clearest indication of that is not very clear. It's like a very, very slight inflation at Pahoa, which doesn't seem to be quite as inflating as much anymore. It's not big enough signal that it's definitely not noise, right? So we're not sure, like, you know, what if it really is magma in there. And it's also localized. The stations that are up rift and down rift there are not showing that same signal.
Right. Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. If they do, that would be a different story. So for now, it's either something localized, and you know, there could totally be localized something out of Pahoa potentially if there's like some lava magma under there that something can come up. You know, just like happened in Leilani at the beginning of the eruption. Plenty bobs of lava. But yeah, as of right now, there's nothing convincing. You know, I keep coming back to the gases in particular. The fact that the gas measurements are down to, what was it, 20 tons? Down from 200, down from 2,000, down from 20,000.
Down to 0 and then back up to 20.
Well, I mean,
the fluctuation still goes on.
Yeah, sure, but yeah, it's relatively speaking, I don't see any signs of magma gas speaking, right?
Right.
That's you know, something I'm
No
looking
gas.
for.
But you know, the uncertainty is still there.
Absolutely.
So the possibility of lava re-entering Fissure 8, there's a high possibility, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the pathway is definitely still open.
Yes, the
right?
pipe.
The pipe, we know the lava is just under the surface, and we know that gas is one way it can build pressure to kind of burp out some more lava from there. So that's all still totally in play.
Do I get to do devil's advocate now too? So.
Well, me and you versus him.
ganging
No,
up.
I'm a neutralizer. I'm the neutralizer here now on this.
So the inflation, the slight inflation signal, I think is as close as we have ever been so far to showing fill the magma. Is that inflation signal? It is an indication, a slight indication of
noise.
refilling. I don't know if noise. We have to wait and see. It's still wait and see time. But if inflation continues up there, the next signal to watch for is to see if inflation propagates on down the rift beyond Pu'uo'o, because that'll be an indication that the connection is still clear through to the lower east rift zone. So the slight inflation, I think, is a really important signal, and we'll have to see if it translates into other instruments. And then I can agree with Phil, even though I'm trying to disagree with him right now. The gas is super key, and so almost any reactivation, we should see more gas, probably quite a bit more gas than we've been seeing at any time recently. And so if this inflation continues, we'll have to see if it's going to show us that the rift is still open beyond Pu'uo'o, and then we'll need to see if gases are going to increase in the fissures down here. So, but I think the inflation is an indication that the lava is entering the east rift still, and has been filling up the east rift probably the entire time it's been paused. That's my take on it. But it's still such small signals, we're still dealing with that tiny scale that we can't be too conclusive yet, to be fair.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty fair.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, you know, it's still a wait and see game. I mean, one thing that you know, I've been studying the dynamics of how the eruption all began, and we'll do that for you guys at some point later on. But like, you know, like one thing we can say for sure is the pathway between Halimama and Pu'uo'o is different than the pathway from Pu'uo'o to Leilani. Okay, there's a big difference. The one from Pu'uo'o was open a lot longer. It's going to be a lot easier for lava to get through there. From there down to Leilani, it's a lot harder. So I need to see more proof that it's going to actually make it down a rift from Pu'uo'o and not get stuck there like it's been stuck for 35 years before that. Because even if there is a pathway open, I need to see proof that it's moving through there. And we don't, you know, and so it's not clear that from the stations upper Pu'uo'o also are not necessarily showing that inflation as much either. So is magma going past those stations, going underneath where we don't see that signal in the upper rift, and it's going fucking Pu'uo'o, or is something locally in Pu'uo'o coming up from the down and up locally to Pu'uo'o? Or is it just the noise? You know, I mean, the only reason I keep saying that is because at the most recent meeting, you know, Frank Truesdale wrote, this is small enough a signal that could well be within the noise, and we have to wait and see, as John also said. We gotta wait and see.
Could be. Yeah, that's an interesting point. The lower rift, this is a big question, as Phil's saying, is that, you know, there's a big difference between the rift after Pu'uo'o down to Leilani. There could be very well some sort of pressure sort of constriction at that point, and we'll have to see if the slight inflation continues, and then if that propagates lower down the rift near the fissures, and so we have to wait and see.
Yes. So, you know, we'll be myself and us, call us the Tree Musketeers.
got a nice hat.
Missing
for
a
it.
hat.
People are complaining. I only wear a hat. I try not to wear a hat. I have in my hair.
But anyways, you know, we'll be still try to keeping tabs on what's happening in our community with the lava, and you'll hear it from us. And you know, as far as any updates from the county, are they still doing some updates? I'm sorry, I'm out of it.
I have not heard. No, yeah, I think they're still discontinuing their updates. I mean, in fact, I don't even know if there's another meeting scheduled. I'm not sure if that's going to keep being a weekly thing or not. It wasn't really referred to yesterday. You know, you would imagine that with all the developments today, that they may change, you know, how they release information now. You know, and you know, we discussed the fact that we have a couple hurricanes nearby, right? One is kind of swinging past us, but the other one is kind of looking like it's going to come towards us right now. So you know, those guys do have other things to worry about right now, and maybe that's part of the decision-making process too.
Yes, and Hurricane Olivia, that's the one coming. The estimated time is probably next week. Like
Yeah, early next week.
Early, yeah, maybe Tuesday. I had a girlfriend named Olivia, and she
Was a hurricane?
Yeah, no, she wasn't a hurricane. She wasn't that good to me, and she teared up my house. So be ready, guys. Be ready. But anyways, yeah. So we'll be letting everybody know. But this is what we're doing at the hub. Check it out. Got some sound system up. We got some hub stuff happening tonight with a bunch of our hub volunteers and some of the people around. And we're setting something up for us here. And it's we're gonna have country night tonight.
Yeah, I didn't hear that ahead of time. I brought my giant buckle.
I'm from Idaho. I'm all over this country.
No, Iowa.
Iowa.
More country.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, any last
No, we'll try to do a more detailed lava update some other time.
Yeah, we've also talked about we're gonna try and do some shows just about the science, less update and answer some of the theoretical things people are curious about. So we might try to do some educational programs versus our updates. So we might be able to do that soon for you.
Yeah, probably after the weekend. Yeah.
All right, guys, and also all local Hawaiians, anybody in Honolulu, I'll be in Honolulu on Wednesday for a panel meeting that is happening. Hold on, let me see. Not too sure, but a panel meeting with the up and coming Pele Honua, Pele Aila'au, and Pele itself with a bunch of Hawaiians, local Kanaka and from Hawaii, and answering questions in Honolulu. So I'll be posting about that. Another thing too, we'll be doing Jack Johnson will be in Pahoa. We'll be doing a concert for Puna. Mark my words. But we are planning, because there is multiple amount of people want to be a part of this. Did Ikaika? No, I didn't. But anyways, if we will be having a huge benefit concert, relief concert for Pahoa. Jack Johnson is one of them. The next person is his last name. We're not. It's just. It's in the air.
Who are you trying to get?
His last name is Currington, and a lot of local musicians. It looks like it's going to be a 2-day event. So we are planning on this, and it looks like it's going to be in December, November, December. So everybody stay tuned, and that will be an awesome concert for us, Puna, and that concert will benefit a lot of people in Puna as far as getting material for people's homes or anything like that. So be aware for that. And Bruno, there might be a chance. Not counting on it. I know the manager.
Yeah,
All
can't
right.
wait.
So, but Jack Johnson will be here. When is the concert? Like I said, stay tuned. We'll be letting people know. We gotta pick the venue first. Then we'll be going from there.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna want to come.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people.
And we'll be putting out a TV show soon. Myself, Philip, Andrew,
TV show.
and John. And it's gonna be the production agency is called Big Eye. So he just dropped his stuff. Yeah, so all right guys, everybody, aloha. We'll be doing another update tomorrow. So with that being said, everybody, what we like to say, stay classy, Puna. Aloha.